His wife divorced him on Christmas Day and her family started cheering. What he did next crushed them all. Christmas, a time for joy, peace, and the warm glow of family. For Ethan, it was the day he looked forward to all year, a brief, beautiful pause in a tireless year of building not just homes, but a life with the woman he loved. He didn't know the glow he saw was about to become the glare of a cruel spotlight. Ethan, mid-30s, handsome but tired, enters carrying a tray with coffee. Serafina, stylish, is sitting perfectly on the sofa, scrolling on her phone. Alara and Victor sit nearby, watching Ethan with thinly veiled contempt. Ethan, morning, everyone. Merry Christmas. Serafina, darling, I made your favorite, gingerbread latte. Ethan places the tray down. Serafina doesn't look up. Serafina, thank you, Ethan. To her phone, oh, Margot's new jet-set lifestyle is just stunning, mother. Alara, scoffs, accepting a coffee. A latte is a small comfort. Ethan, unlike a proper inheritance or a corner office view. Victor, chuckles dryly, speaking of views. My new penthouse overlooks the entire marina. All thanks to knowing when to cut ties with. Dead weight. Ethan visibly flinches but forces a smile. Ethan, well, I'm just grateful to be here, surrounded by family. Let's open some gifts. He hands Serafina a small, beautifully wrapped box. She opens it without excitement. It's an antique locket with their initials. Serafina, polite, emotionless. It's sweet. Ethan, very traditional. Serafina picks up a large, ornate envelope with a golden seal from the coffee table. Her expression changes to one of cold resolve. Serafina, actually, before we continue the sweet traditions, I have one last gift for you, Ethan. She hands him the envelope. Ethan, confused. This isn't wrapped. What is it, darling? Ethan tears the seal. His eyes widen as he reads the document inside. A close-up shot of the words petition for dissolution of marriage. Ethan, what? What is this? Serafina, standing up, suddenly authoritative. It's a divorce petition. Ethan, filed this morning. Effective immediately. I had my lawyer draft it up months ago. Merry Christmas. I'm leaving you. Ethan, voice barely a whisper, on Christmas Day. Serafina, why? We just refinished the kitchen. We talked about adopting. Alara, cheering, raising her coffee cup, finally, to a future free of middle-class mediocrity. Victor, clapping slowly, a cruel smile. Congratulations, sis. Best decision you've ever made. Ethan looks from his wife to her cheering family. The sound of their joy is a physical blow. The festive lights suddenly feel harsh and blinding. In that moment, the beautiful life he thought they had built shattered into 1,000 pieces. It wasn't just a divorce. It was a public execution of his heart, orchestrated by the people who were supposed to be his family. The rest of the day was a blur of vicious logistics. Serafina and her family had planned this meticulously. They mock his career, his sentimental gifts, and his simple ambitions. They wanted to strip him of his dignity as well as his wife. Flashback. Quick cuts of the family laughing as Serafina packs expensive bags. Alara loudly discussing Serafina's upgrade options. Ethan staring blankly at the divorce papers. Victor, you're just too soft, Ethan. You never had the killer instinct. Serafina deserves better than a man who designs suburban housing. Alara, we all know you only stayed this long for the property value, dear. Don't worry, we'll ensure you don't stall the sale. The scene cuts back to the present. Ethan is now alone, holding the locket he gave her. He is fighting back tears. Ethan, to himself, whispering, everything. All those promises. It was all a lie. He drops the locket onto the table. Ethan stands and walks to the kitchen. He opens the freezer and pulls out a massive, ornate cake. It's Serafina's favorite, custom made for the holidays. He stares at it. Narrator, betrayal is a poison. It fills you with a burning need for revenge, for validation. In that moment, Ethan could have succumbed to the bitterness. He could have screamed, smashed the ornaments, or demanded their suffering. Ethan slowly puts the cake back. He closes his eyes, taking a deep breath. A sudden stillness washes over him. Ethan, quietly, firmly, no, not my life, not my peace. He walks out of the kitchen, back to the living room. He stops at the tree and looks at the lights. His shoulders straighten. His eyes, though red, now hold a fierce determination. But Ethan was built on stronger foundations than they understood. His foundation wasn't the fleeting approval of others. It was his own quiet strength, his talent, and his dignity. The question was, what was he going to build with the rubble of his marriage? The first few weeks were hell. Legal battles, isolation, and the sting of humiliation. But Ethan didn't curl up. He took the emotional fuel of their contempt and poured it into the one thing they mocked, his work. Ethan, reading a letter to himself, your talent is wasted. Ethan, you're too nice to succeed in the high-stakes world. Serafina's mother. He crumples the letter and tosses it into a trash can overflowing with similar documents. Ethan is on a video call with an older, esteemed architect, Mr. Davies. Mr. Davies, Ethan, this new proposal you sent over, the Resilience Center for the Inner City Redevelopment, it's not just beautiful, it's innovative. The way you've incorporated sustainable materials with community spaces. Ethan, thank you, sir. I designed it to be more than a building. I want it to be a sanctuary, a place where people can rebuild when their foundation is challenged. Mr. Davies, it's exactly what the city needs. Listen, I have the key investors meeting next week. I want you to present the final design. This could launch you into the Premier League of architecture, son. Ethan hangs up the phone. He picks up a small, weathered notebook, his old sketch pad. Serafina and her family saw success as an address, a brand name, a price tag. Ethan saw it as the ability to create something meaningful, something that outlived fleeting status symbols. He didn't want to just succeed. He wanted to crush their shallow philosophy with the weight of genuine achievement. Ethan turns the page in his notebook. The old sketches of the dream home he designed for Serafina are visible. He tears out the page and uses the fresh sheet to sketch the final details of the Resilience Center. Ethan, time to build a legacy, not just a house. The world moves fast. 6 months had passed. Serafina's excitement had curdled into the bitter reality of single life. Her new partner wasn't who she thought. Her mother's social aspirations were hitting walls. And Victor's sure-thing investment was hemorrhaging cash. Their spiteful Christmas victory had become a slow, painful defeat. Serafina, Alara, and Victor are at the edge of the crowd. They are dressed well, but their expressions are strained and envious. They are trying to catch a glimpse of the featured architect. Alara, I heard the man they hired for this project is a genius. A real visionary. Someone who knows how to play the game. Victor, adjusting his tie, probably someone I know. I should try and network with him. We need a bailout. Serafina, sipping her champagne. Honestly, all architects are the same. Just glorified contractors. The city mayor steps up to the podium. Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to introduce the chief architect for the Resilience Center, a visionary who has turned a humble design firm into a global powerhouse in less than a year. Please welcome Ethan Cole. The spotlight swings. Ethan walks confidently onto the stage. The camera focuses on the shocked, pale faces of Serafina, Alara, and Victor. Serafina, gasping, dropping her glass. Ethan? Alara, that can't be him. He's too composed, too successful. Victor, muttering, I mocked him on the phone last month. I told him he should stick to drawing sheds. Ethan begins his presentation. He speaks with passion and authority. He catches their eyes in the crowd and holds their gaze, not with anger, but with cool, unwavering focus. Ethan, this project is intensely personal for me. It is a building born from the idea that when everything around you collapses, when the people you trusted prove to be the weakest materials in your life, you must be your own strongest foundation. My purpose is not to design pretty houses for the wealthy. My purpose is to build lasting purpose into the landscape. His words were the wrecking ball. He wasn't lashing out. He was simply succeeding at a level they couldn't touch. His calm confidence was the crushing force they never saw coming. Serafina breaks away from her mother and forces her way through the crowd to Ethan. Serafina, Ethan, can we talk? You look incredible. Ethan, turning, polite but distant. Serafina, congratulations on the divorce. You seem well. Serafina, wringing her hands. Look, I was wrong. My mother, she pressured me. She made me feel like I needed the status. I see now, you are the status. You're the one everyone is talking about. Ethan, a faint, sad smile. That's your mistake, Serafina. You still see people as objects of status. I'm just a man who worked hard after being freed from a toxic environment. Alara and Victor join them, their masks of arrogance cracking into desperation. Alara, Ethan, darling. We were so harsh that Christmas. Just family ribbing. Now, about that new Resilience Center, I think Serafina would be an excellent choice for the interior design lead. A wonderful opportunity for her to rejoin the family business, so to speak. Victor, and me, Ethan. I have an investment proposal for you. A can't-miss venture. Ethan looks at the three of them, his ex-wife, her mother, and her brother, begging for a crumb of his new success. Ethan, slight pause. Serafina, I wish you well. But the Resilience Center team is built on trust and shared values, neither of which I can find in this conversation. Ethan, to all three, his voice low and firm, that Christmas morning. You thought you were hurting me by taking away my wife and my home. You were cheering for my ruin. But you actually gave me the greatest gift, the freedom to pursue my true purpose. I finally understood that I don't need your approval or your superficial measure of success. Ethan reaches into his pocket and pulls out the antique locket he gave Serafina that day. He hands it to Serafina's mother. Ethan, this locket represents my old life, a life built on sentiment and tradition that you all mocked. Keep it. It's the final payment for my freedom. My new life is built on dignity, merit, and self-respect. And that is something you will never be able to divorce me from. He walks away. Serafina watches him go, tears in her eyes, finally understanding what she lost. Alara and Victor stand frozen, the locket heavy in Alara's hand. The cheering has stopped. They are crushed by his composure. A year later, Ethan was happier, stronger, and more successful than he had ever been. Not because of fame or money, but because he was authentic. The Resilience Center became his masterpiece, a symbol of what can be built from the ashes of betrayal. Ethan is walking through the center, smiling and greeting people. He stops by a plaque dedicated to the project. As for Serafina, Alara, and Victor, their temporary cheer faded. Their life of chasing status was a constant cycle of disappointment. They received the crushing blow they deserved, not from a shout of anger, but from the deafening sound of Ethan's success without them. Ethan, if there is a lesson in my story, it is this: you cannot control the cruelty of others. You cannot control their betrayal, their pettiness, or their desire to see you fail. But you can control your reaction. Never let the venom of others infect your purpose. When they try to tear down your life on the most sacred day, don't scream for revenge. Instead, use their dismissal as your energy source. Build your success on a foundation so solid, a Resilience Center within your own heart, that when they finally see your triumph, their silence will be louder than any cheer. The best revenge is not an action. It is a successful, dignified life lived without them. The unbreakable gift is your own dignity. Cherish it, protect it, and let it be the light that guides your path. Immoral lessons for this story are: 1. Dignity is your strongest foundation. True strength is not found in lashing out but in maintaining composure and dignity in the face of betrayal. 2. Focus on creation, not vengeance. The most powerful response to cruelty is to pour your energy into meaningful work and self-improvement, turning pain into purpose. 3. Freedom is a gift. Sometimes, an unexpected and painful ending, like a divorce or firing, is the necessary catalyst that frees you from a toxic situation and allows you to find your true path. Comment below. What would you Do if the person you loved mocked you in front of everyone you ever helped? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more real-life inspired stories that will leave you speechless.